There are two main causes of migration, and they're not different now from any time in history. One is movements to try to build aspirations and achieve a better life. And the other one is distress migration, people fleeing from intolerable regimes, from desertification, from all sorts of deprivations. And we should respect both types.
The war in 1970, and a lot of the people that migrated at the time running away from war and war situations in the southeastern part of the country, a lot have come and settled in England. They have moved to other countries also within the African continent, and some have come back since the war is over, and a lot have settled in their new homes.
And the estimated net flow of migrants was approximately 1,913 persons yearly between 2014 and 2016. And over the past 10 years, Malta has accepted back a yearly average of 425 returning migrants. During 2006, we had 1,800 illegal immigrants reaching Malta, which made the crossing from the northern African coast. As I said, they progressed from Africa up to Malta. Most of them intended to reach mainland Europe and happened to come to Malta due to their standard vessels breaking down or other unfortunate events. The Mediterranean has unfortunately seen many deaths over the years, and unfortunately it's been increasing. And during 2014 alone, approximately 3,500 migrants drowned in the area, and in 2017 more than 8,000 migrants had been rescued and brought to Italy over the Easter long weekend. So
I have been involved with many migrants in the past. I've been involved in various organizations where I used to be on the front line helping people that are rescued from the sea through the vessels, and I also offered first aid in certain circumstances, and then I also continued working with migrants at the open centers, and I used to teach them English and help them out with their daily needs.
I think one of my worst experiences was the aircraft was full, of bunk beds filled with these migrants that came from the war zone, and we're strolling in people on the stretchers, and I had one of my patients on the other side having an amputation. So it was quite an obscene. But this is the reality, and unfortunately this reality is not often known by the Maltese people.
In your experience, the experience of economic migration as well, how do you find that benefits the individual and the people around them?
Well, obviously it enables people to fill skill gaps. It enables people to provide services that often local communities don't have or have a shortage of. And it obviously enriches our culture. I mean, we have to realize that all of us benefit culturally from having a diversification of cultures in our midst.
Political refugees in the 1930s, Oxford was a major centre for political refugees, especially unaccompanied children who came here and settled in Oxford. The latest wave that the local government has to do something for is from the Middle East. We've had a series of demonstrations and commitments by the local government here to try to help.
I believe in migration. I know that migration across the world throughout history has been of immense benefit to all societies, and it's no different today in Britain.
And at a local level, what are the issues today?
Well, a major aspect is, of course, housing as a result of migration. But employment and people's future education clearly figure too in all the planning that has to be done with the change in migration patterns.
Do you have any sense of new solutions or new ideas, new ways to approach the problems?
No, I think in essence most of the ideas of what we need to do have been relatively clear for many years. The big problem, I think, in public services, especially local government, has been lack of finances to actually implement those policies. But I think we've had a clear idea of what we need to do. But the Green Economic Institute has come up with a series of new ideas and new approaches, and perhaps with more dynamism into the system.
In the field of law and human rights and migration, what do you think are the important issues today?
Yeah, today I think it's very important to distinguish migrants' rights from terroristic ones, because there's lots of confusion about it.
But we also have issues with the detention policy. They need to stay in detention for approximately 6 to 12 months, depending on their current situation. Unfortunately, there have been cases where people have even stayed in detention for almost 3 years.
And for me, this is a fundamental human rights, common rights issue that we've got to stand against. Stand against those who are anti-migrant and xenophobic and implicitly, if not explicitly, racist. And that's what we've got to fight against. And I'm proud of the fact that the Green Institute and others are forging a narrative of a counterattack